Yo guys, what's going on? Kingflipper here and welcome to the usual we do yearly. I have tried to leave this as late as possible because obviously of the transfer window. We are doing predictions for the Premier League this year, the 21-22 season. And oof, that's all I'm going to say is oof. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff in this league. There's a few... I think the bottom half of the table is actually harder to predict this year than anything else. The top half of the table, I think, is pretty easy. I think, in my opinion, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the new teams have come up, but I don't think all of the new teams are. I don't think all the new teams are going to be down. This is what I think this year. There's been some pretty good transfer windows for some people. And there's been some abysmal ones for some other people. So we've had a shadow of that. Let's get into it. We'll start off with 20th place. Brentford. Sorry, guys. You picked up a couple of players, but I just don't think you've got enough quality to stay in the league. And I don't think you're going to have a terrible season compared to what some people are finishing 20th. I still just think you're going to finish 20th, unfortunately. I think, as I said, it's going to be a lot closer down there this year than it was last year. So unfortunately, Brentford bottom. Apologies to any Brentford fans. I just don't think you've got the quality. Again, I don't think it's going to be a terrible season. I just don't think it. I mean, it's just going to be the bottom, unfortunately. 19th, I think, is going to surprise a lot of people. Crystal Palace. I genuinely think Palace are actually going to be in the mud here this season. They've lost a lot of players. Like a lot of players that played last season. I was really surprised myself when I was having a goosey gander to see how many players. How many players have actually lost. I had to mess around with my picture, my notes. Yeah, they've lost a lot of players. They have brought some players in, but I just don't think. Quality is there, and I really think they're going to have a dire season. Out of all of the teams that were still up last, it's just not good. I'm sorry, Palace, you're going down this season. You've really messed up unless they bring in some players that I mean, I'm recording this on the Monday just before the season starts, so yeah. Again, it's going to be very close down there this year. I think it's going to be a lot closer between 20th and 14th, in my opinion. So, could take with a pinch of salt, but I think Palace will be one of the teams that will be having a woeful season, and I think they're going to go down. 18th, Watford. They have just been promoted. I just don't think they're going to have enough to stay up, as again, I think it's going to be very close. But I think Watford might only get relegated by a couple of points. Might even be just 1 point or something like that. They'll have an average season. I just don't think it's going to be good enough to stay up. But again, it's going to be very close. So they're my three bottom relegated teams. I can't see any reason why. I think the Palace one, a few of you might say, hang on, that's completely wrong. Drop in the comments below. Let me know what you think about that one. 17th, Burnley. I think they'll just about survive. Again, they finished 17th last season. They got lucky. I think they'll get lucky again. They've brought no one really big in. They've got a couple of players in, but nothing amazing. They've lost some players. So again, I think they're going to have a very boring season and are just about survive. So, sorry Viz, you ain't going to get far. Next, 16th, Brighton. Again, Brighton are going to be one of them ones that are going to be very close to staying to the bottom three. They lost Ben White, of course. They have lost a few players as well. They brought some in. That's why I predicted them to stay ahead of Burnley. I just don't think they're going to have a good season either. Losing Ben White is a big loss, especially as his quality centre back. there, so that was one of the main reasons I'm saying 16th. So 16th there. Again, very close to the bottom 3. Same with next place, 15th. I think it's going to be Southampton. Again, they've brought some players in. But they've lost some big players. Danny Ings was one of them. There's a few others as well. That's why I predicted 15th. If they hadn't brought considering the players that they've lost, if they hadn't brought they brought some decent players in. Nothing amazing, but if they hadn't brought the players in that they have, I thought they probably would have been 7th. They were even closer to the bottom 3. So yeah, 15th again. And then Newcastle again are going to be 14th. I predicted 14th again. They're going to be one of them teams that are going to be very close to the bottom. They've brought no one in. At this point in time as we're recording this, there is no one confirmed to join in Newcastle whatsoever. They've lost some players, but it's nothing like out of this world. So that there, 14th to 20th, I think is going to be the hardest thing this season. I genuinely think there's only... I'm going to say... I'm going to put it out now. Again, comments below. Let me know what you think. I only think there's going to be about 10 points between bottom and 14th. Maybe 12 at a push. But I genuinely think it's going to be that close in the bottom this season. Because I can see... Even though I've put Brentford, Palace and Watford to go down, I can see anyone from Newcastle below to go down. That's how much I can't see anyone doing anything amazing in teams. Again, let me know in the comments below if you support these teams. Let me know if you agree with me, because I know, especially anyone that supports Newcastle, I genuinely feel sorry for you. You brought no one in. So yeah, rip the dream. Right, let's get into the mid-table. Norwich. They have brought some real good players in this season. Obviously, they've just got promoted. They did lose Buendia, but they've spent the money well. They've brought some real good players in. Rashika was one that we were looking at, obviously Villa supporter. They brought him in, bigged up there. There is some other players they've brought in as well. So I think Norwich will have a decent season. 13th should be decent. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near that lower half, the Newcastle below. I think they're going to be a few more points ahead of that. I really think they're going to have a decent season. So yeah, I'd say they're 13th for Norwich. Everton 12th. They're going to have a naff. Forget that. They're just going to be there. Another mid-table. They might be lower. They've lost a lot of players. And they haven't brought anyone in. And Rodriguez is still, I think, on the list. He hasn't been. I don't think he was there. On the ins and outs, he should be on the out because he doesn't want to play Rodriguez, which is a bit of a weird one as well. Everton 12th at best. They could be a lot worse off. I don't know. They haven't brought anyone in amazing. But again, they brought some players in, but nothing out of this world. So Everton 12th. Wolves, again, a bit of a weird one. I'm putting them 11th. I think they're going to have a better season than last season. Only if Jimenez is fit and plays like... If he stays fit all season. Obviously he's back in training. Apparently he scored in a friendly recently. So Jimenez is a decent one. They have lost, I didn't realise they lost Patricio, which was a kind of a surprise. Considering, I mean, Patricio is a class goalkeeper. So Wolves, they've lost some players, nothing amazing. They've brought no one in amazing. As long as Jimenez stays fit, because obviously they missed him massively last season and they finished way down the table. 11th, I think, seems about right at the moment. I can't see any of the other teams above them finishing below them. So yeah, 11th place for Wolves. Leeds 10th mid-season, absolutely beautiful, average season for them. They'll probably be there or thereabouts again. It'll be close, I think. Here, I think from Wolves up to where I'm going to predict 7th, maybe 6th, might be very close. So I'm going to go Leeds for 10th. Again, there or thereabouts, just above, just somewhere above the, just mid-table. I've got nothing else to say about that. That's what I'm going to say. This one might surprise a few people. I'm going to go West Ham 9th. The only reason I'm going to go West Ham 9th is I think they're going to struggle with Europe. They don't have a massive team. They have lost a couple of players. Nothing major, but they brought some in. But I don't think they're going to have a good a season as they had last season. Don't get me wrong, last season was amazing for them. I just think they're going to struggle with Europe. I don't think they're going to have as good a season. There's going to be no rush about finishing in the bottom half of the table or anything like that. But again, it's going to be close in that mid-table. So I'm saying 9th for West Ham. Spurs 8th. I put Spurs 8th only if they lose Kane. If they don't, they're only going to finish. I think they're only going to finish one position higher than that, and they're going to finish 7th. They brought a couple of good players in, but as I said, if they lose Kane, it's a massive, massive blow. Can they finish lower if they lose Kane? They might. West Ham and Leeds might jump them, but I'm going to say Spurs 8th. Even if they lose Kane, as I said, if they don't lose Kane, I think they're only going to finish one position ahead of where I predicted. So 8th place for Spurs. I know it's going to upset Spurs players, but I'm sorry, but Spurs fans, I'm sorry, Spurs are shit. So yeah, 7th I'm going to go Villa. Only, as I said, 7th for Villa. I don't know why I said Villa. 7th for Villa. We bought some good players in. Could have been a lot higher. Well, I say a lot higher. Probably could have been one position higher if we had Grealish still. Maybe 2. I generally don't think we are. I don't think we're going to be near Europe, but 7th or 8th, as I said, depends on how Spurs get on with it. But we brought some real good players in. I mean, Danny Ings was a shock, which is good. Buendia, Bailey. I'm hoping. Apparently, we're going to sign 3 more players before the transfer window, which is a surprise. You got Zabi again back on loan, which is good as a backup centre back, because that was one thing I was worried about. We need another midfielder. I'm hoping we pick up Ward-Prowse. If we do, that's a big dub. Another L for Southampton, because that could drop them even lower. So Villa 7th. I know. I can't wait for the comments in the comments below. Yeah, I predicted Villa to finish like I think it was 12th or 13th last year, and we actually finished slightly higher than that. And you guys all complained that we were going to get relegated. So don't forget, guys, you've got to be careful with Villa. Again, I think we could have got Europe if we had Grealish. We haven't. So 7th or 8th. 7th I'll put, but again, depends on how Spurs are. So I think 7th to 10th, or maybe 11th. I don't know about Wolves. 7th to 10th is going to be very close. There's only going to be a few points between them. Then there's going to be, I think, a small gap. 6th place is going to be Arsenal. I think Arsenal are going to be one of them teams that are going to be on their own. 6th place. I think they're going to be too far ahead of us and too far behind our 5th place. Arsenal, the reason I put 6 is because they still need a massive striker. I know they were linked with Martinez, but it looks like Spurs have robbed that off them. Again, that's a dub for Spurs, but again, I still think Martinez is a buy because Kane's going. But again, Spurs don't, and then they have Kane and Martinez. That's why I'm still saying 7th. They might jump up to 6 ahead of Arsenal, because again, Arsenal are missing a massive striker. So they brought some good players in. I think Arsenal, they're going to have a good defensive system, especially with picking Ben White and that lot. It's just that they're missing a big striker. I know Aubameyang is supposed to be a good striker, but he's not. And Lacazette, but they're that's what I think of that. So yeah, 6 for Arsenal. Leicester 5th. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts. Again, I think they're going to bottle job top 4 again. They brought a couple of players in. They haven't lost anyone amazing. It's one of them. Leicester bottled top 4 last season at the last obviously the last day. I think they're going to be close again, but I still think they're going to finish 5th and bottle job it again. Sorry, Leicester. But again, it's another Leicester, Arsenal, and maybe Spurs. I have to keep saying maybe because it depends on how the transfer window goes. There could be a lot of swap there. Again, it's crazy what could happen. Top 4. Don't think it's going to change. Liverpool 4th. That's where they normally finish. Can't see them finishing ahead of the top 3. So that's it for pretty much Liverpool. Chelsea, top 3. The top 3. Now, this is something I'm going to say. I predicted Chelsea to be 3rd, but I think it's going to be really, really close between the top 3 this season. A lot more than it was last season. I generally think there's going to be a max of 10 points, maybe even less than that, between the top 3. The reason why I put Chelsea so close this time, even though the 3rd, is because obviously Lukaku is coming in. Werner's just misfiring, so Lukaku should be scoring left, right, and centre. Chelsea they haven't really lost anyone. anyone that I could do. They are trying to sell a few people, but yeah. Obviously, Havertz is now its second season. He was pretty decent last season, so Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts. This season, third. Next season will be very different, I think, in my opinion. Man United second, of course. Again, Sancho is a big boost for them. That's why I still think. That's why I think they're going to be much closer to City. But yeah, second place United. Again, that could change. City, their team's disgusting. Man City's team's disgusting. As I said, if they get Harry Kane, they'll be miles ahead of anyone else. I say not miles. They'll be much closer. I think Man United, Chelsea will be close. If if Kane does go to City, I think there's going to be a bit more of a gap there. The team is mad. They've added more players to the team. Obviously, they picked up Grealish. They might be picking up some more players. But I can see City winning the league again. So, there we go. What do you guys think about that? I'd like to see what you guys think obviously in the comments below. Please feel free, even if it's abuse to throw at me, and you think, hang on, I support this team, absolutely no way. Or even if I've over predicted where you're going to finish, or if you're from if you support a championship team. Comments below. I mean, I always like to read the comments. I'm sick to death of reading the robot fake comments that they keep dropping and YouTube don't sort out. So yeah, there we go. It's going to be a long season. Again, 14th to 20th is going to be very close. 10th to 7th, maybe even to 5th might be very close. I think Liverpool are definitely going to be on their own, and the top 3 are going to be very close. That's my prediction this season. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully we get to our mid-season prediction and we're kind of doing okay. As you know, last season we did alright, but not as much as I want. I always like to try and get, if we can get 50% right, that is a big dub, but you know. But there we go. As again, I tried to leave this as late as possible. Obviously the transfer window is still open, so it could still make a difference. That's why I've had to put a couple of teams there or thereabout. Well, it's only really Arsenal and Spurs, really. I can't see anything else there. But there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, feel free to drop the thumbs up. It does help the channel and the video. If you want to see more stuff about football, FIFA, and loads of other random games we're playing at the moment, because we're waiting for FIFA 22, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you got that notification bell on so you can keep up to date as soon as I upload these. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Take it easy, and obviously, peace.